From outside, the business looked like a dream. White HVAC vans, clean logos, packed schedules, and revenue numbers that made people lean forward. You called it an empire because the spreadsheet said $8.4 million in annual revenue across 3 local branches. Inside the business, Empire felt like your phone vibrating before sunrise because a rooftop unit failed over a bakery freezer. You did not grow up in HVAC. You had never installed a compressor, brazed a line set, or diagnosed airflow by sound. You knew debt service, pricing models, customer acquisition cost, and gross margin. The technicians knew when your confidence was borrowed. That was the first hidden struggle: credibility. Field people can smell a spreadsheet owner faster than a leaking refrigerant line. The first Monday meeting proved it. You introduced a new dashboard and nobody argued. That was worse than arguing. Joel, the service manager, finally said the numbers were fine, but the board did not show why jobs actually went sideways. You thought he meant technician performance. He meant old equipment, missing parts, unclear notes, bad dispatch, and customers who remembered everything differently. That day taught you the first rule. In HVAC, profit is not made in the office, it is protected in the field. The second struggle was seasonality. Summer made you feel rich. Winter made you question every loan document you signed. In July, every phone line rang like a slot machine. In February, the same trucks looked expensive sitting still. Revenue was not the same as cash. Busy months hid mistakes because deposits, service calls, and emergency work all arrived together. Slow months exposed everything: bloated inventory, weak maintenance plans, overtime habits, underpriced installs, and customers still waiting on invoices. Priya, your controller, showed you one ugly truth. The best revenue month had produced less cash than an average month. Callbacks were the reason. A callback looked small when one technician drove back for 1 hour. Across 3 branches, callbacks became free labor, burned fuel, delayed new jobs, and angry customers asking why the first visit did not fix anything. You wanted to solve it with accountability. Joel wanted to solve it with training, better job notes, and fewer rush schedules. He was right. Your version found blame. His version found the operating cause. The third hidden struggle was dispatch. Before owning HVAC companies, you thought dispatch meant putting names on a calendar. Sandra, your lead dispatcher, explained that dispatch was actually margin, customer retention, technician sanity, and weather forecasting disguised as scheduling. Send the wrong technician to the wrong unit, and a profitable day became 2 apologies and a bad review. Overbook a strong technician, and you did not create efficiency, you created tomorrow's resignation risk. Underbook during a heat wave, and customers called competitors before your brand promise had time to breathe. The fourth struggle was inventory. Shelves full of parts looked responsible until cash got trapped in things nobody needed this month. One branch stocked like a warehouse. One branch stocked like a gambler. One branch borrowed from everyone and recorded nothing. Your first inventory count created 3 arguments, 2 missing compressors, and 1 technician who said the old way worked fine. The old way had worked because Frank, a senior installer, remembered where everything was. Frank's memory was not a system. You learned to respect tribal knowledge without letting the company depend on it. That line was harder than it sounded. The fifth hidden struggle was recruiting. Customers wanted experienced technicians. Experienced technicians wanted good pay, decent managers, and less chaos. Every competitor was also hiring. Every bad review hurt recruiting. Every weak manager made your best people wonder who else was calling. You raised wages, but money alone did not fix trust. Good technicians did not just sell labor, they sold judgment. Judgment walked out the door when people felt like leadership only cared about ticket average. So you started riding along, not to inspect people, but to understand what your decisions felt like inside a van. You watched a technician named Marcus calm a furious homeowner before opening a tool bag. The system had booked him too tight, given him incomplete notes, and still expected him to protect the brand with patience. That ride-along changed how you read the P&L. Labor was not just cost, it was the business breathing through human beings. The sixth struggle was pricing. Raise prices too fast, and longtime customers felt betrayed. Raise them too slowly, and margin disappeared politely. Your maintenance plans were underpriced because the old owners hated uncomfortable renewal calls. Installation quotes were inconsistent because each branch had its own spreadsheet, assumptions, and favorite way to hide risk. You standardized pricing and immediately got complaints from both sides. Customers said it felt higher. Technicians said it finally felt honest. The seventh struggle was customer communication. People call HVAC companies when they are hot, cold, stressed, or spending money unexpectedly. Nobody cares that your branch integration is complicated when their children's bedroom is 86 degrees at midnight. Your call center scripts sounded professional but not human. Sandra rewrote them with the dispatch team after listening to 20 angry calls. The new scripts did not promise miracles. They promised arrival windows, clear updates, and honest next steps. Complaints dropped because silence had been making customers angrier than delays. The eighth struggle was debt. Multi-million-dollar revenue sounded impressive until lenders, sellers, payroll, insurance, and vendors all wanted cash first. You had built the company through acquisitions, which meant every branch carried history and every deal carried obligations. Seller notes did not care about heat waves. Bank covenants did not care that a technician quit during peak season. At one point, revenue was up 12%, but available cash was down because receivables aged and inventory spiked. Priya started sending a 13-week cash forecast every Friday. You disliked it at first because it removed comforting fog. Then it became the most important document in the company, not because it was fancy, but because it forced timing into the conversation. You stopped asking, "Are we profitable?" You started asking, "When does cash arrive, and what must clear before then?" That question saved you from confusing growth with oxygen. The ninth struggle was ego. You wanted to prove a person without HVAC experience could lead an HVAC company. The better lesson was different. You did not need to pretend you had field experience, you needed to respect it enough to build around it. You created a field council with technicians from every branch, and the first meeting was painfully honest. They listed broken handoffs, unrealistic sales promises, missing parts, bad photos, confusing bonuses, and managers who changed priorities by noon. Nobody spoke like they were impressed by ownership. They spoke like people tired of cleaning up decisions made far away. You could have defended yourself. Instead, you wrote everything down. The fixes were not glamorous. Better job notes, parts checklists, callback reviews without humiliation, weather-based staffing, maintenance plan cleanup. You gave branch managers one shared scorecard: first-time fix rate, gross margin, customer response time, technician turnover, and cash collection speed. For the first time, the branches could compare reality without turning every meeting into a personality contest. Month by month, the empire got less shiny and more durable. Callbacks fell. Maintenance renewals improved. Inventory stopped expanding like a quiet leak. Cash forecasting became normal instead of scary. Not every problem disappeared. A top installer still left. A commercial customer still delayed payment. One branch missed budget badly. But the business stopped feeling like three companies wearing one logo and started feeling like one operating system with local judgment. The biggest hidden struggle was loneliness. People saw the revenue number and assumed you had won. They did not see you rereading payroll reports at 11:38 p.m., wondering if inexperience was finally becoming expensive. They did not see the awkward humility of asking a technician to explain static pressure like you were a new apprentice. They did not see how many decisions were neither heroic nor terrible, just heavy and unfinished. Running a multi-million-dollar HVAC empire without experience did not require pretending to be the smartest person in the room. It required finding the people who already understood the room, then building systems that made their knowledge visible. The empire was never the vans, the revenue, or the acquisition headline. It was the thousand small promises made in hot attics, cold offices, cramped crawl spaces, and tense customer kitchens. And without experience, the only way to survive was to trade ego for listening before the business taught the lesson louder.